ज्योति स्टेनो टाइपिंग कॉलेज में आप सभी का स्वागत है बच्चों। ये है आपकी डिक्टेशन नंबर 94। वेबसाइट पे इसको लगा दिया गया। पहले इसको अच्छे से लिखें, फिर इसको टाइप कर दें वेबसाइट के ऊपर। डिक्टेशन स्टार्ट आफ्टर 5 सेकेंड। सर, वी आर नॉट सेइंग दैट everybody should be allowed to go into all aspects, but defense cannot be kept as a scared cow that no one can touch. This is very important. Secondly, the overall perspective of our defense. We understand that given the geopolitical situation today, a country like India has to spend money, substantial money, for our defense. We do not understand the necessity of spending for defense because the threat from the American imperialism is not more elusive. Everybody, we are reading reports about how the American imperialism is arming Pakistan with modern equipment and its own personnel to man it. We know how the American imperialism is trying to encircle our country, how the independence of the third world countries is threatened by the American imperialism. We are aware of it. In this situation, it is painful that substantial amount is being taken away for defense purpose, which would have been otherwise utilized for other developmental purposes. That is why I say it is painful, but there is not other option. But at the same time, just by acquiring the modern arms and keeping the army, you cannot defend our country. No one can do so. People should be made aware of the threats coming from imperialism. On this aspect, we are constrained to see that the party at the helm of affairs who rules our country is not doing its duty. You are limiting your criticism of the American imperialism only to statement only when you caught up in some allegations only when some skeletons come out of you cupboard. You are woken up to the threat of the imperialism and the efforts of foreign hands in destabilizing. If you fail to educate the masses of our country regarding the threat coming from the imperialism and how the imperialism, especially the American imperialism, is trying to arm Pakistan and encircle our country, the people cannot be mobilized for defense of our country. I may be permitted to remind you the experience of the time of the Second World War in the Soviet Union, when countries after countries were kneeling before the might of Nazi Hitler. It was the Soviet Union which started the defeat of Nazism in the Second World War. I do not want to elaborate about it, but the point is how the Soviet Union saved mankind from the horror of Hitler. It was not by arms and military alone. Each household of the Soviet Union was a defense outpost. Sir, coming to the question of research and development, I do not want to take much time on this. I am just mentioning points only. A highest amount on research and development is being allocated on defense. But how eminent persons are sacked, which is detrimental to the growth of research and development, not only in the defense sphere but also in all other spheres. There are so many problems for various sections of defense personnel in our vast country. Sir, then comes the question of employment and self-employment training scheme. For this purpose, a number of schemes have been launched. Now, without taking the time of the House too much, I would like to say that one scheme promotes organizations, cooperatives, corporations, and so on, and gives them some sort of training in transportation of cement, fertilizers, and other things. In other words, things which can be organized under the auspices of the government or public sector undertakings are covered under this scheme. This is one kind of activity. The other scheme, this is one kind of activity. The other scheme and an important scheme, which is a new scheme, is self-employment for ex-servicemen. This has been formulated with the help of the Industrial Development Bank of India and launched on 1st April 1987. Now, this scheme contemplates a package of entrepreneurial training, technical assistance, loans, and term loans from state financial corporations, banks, and the IDBI. While I do not think I should take the time of the House in giving the details of this scheme, I would certainly like to tell you that there will be collateral security for the term loans other than the assets of the project. The scheme will be implemented in a decentralized manner, and that the ex-servicemen here a specific target group. So I hope this scheme will help them considerably. Then there is the other area of concern for ex-servicemen, and that is the concern for their pension. Pension sanction procedures have been simplified and computerized. Over 80% of the persons retiring now are receiving their pension payment orders in the month of retirement itself. The remaining will be given provisional pension at least, and we will make efforts to see that the payment of final pension to them is also expedited. Sir, I would like to mention that another scheme was introduced on 1st April 1987 for the ex-servicemen. Under this scheme, where a pensioner decides to draw pension from the bank, the pension payment order will be sent directly to the bank of the pensioner's choice. The bank will credit the pension of the first of every month and claim reimbursement from the government later. I hope the House will welcome this. Sir, a point was made by some honorable members in regard to equal rank, equal pension. This point was considered by the Fourth Pay Commission. The Fourth Pay Commission has not found justification for equalization of pension on a rank to rank or post to post basis, irrespective of the date of retirement, as it would mean application of the revised scales of pay or emoluments retrospectively. The honorable members may be aware about the recommendations of the Pay Commission. This is the other aspect which the House should take into consideration. This is in regard to the minimum pension and minimum family pension, which was rupees 300 per month. We have increased it to rupees 375 per month. इस क्लास में बच्चों नमस्कार बच्चों.